Thank you. So, show of hands. In your life, not yet. In your life, past life, friends you know, people you know, have you heard this before? I know you have. Everybody should be raising their hand. If we got this merciful God and He loves us, why does all this crap happen to us? Everybody's hands should be raised right now, right? Everybody's. Me included. I didn't know it. My entire life has been like this. And it took me 48 years to understand it. And I watched this movie, Father Stu. You guys ever watch this? Yeah. You know, I went there just out of the wind one day, movie theater by myself, and I watched it. And he said something really profound to me, and it just made all the sense in the world. The experience of suffering is the fullest expression of God's love. It's a chance to be closer to Christ. We shouldn't pray for an easy life, but of asking God for the strength to endure a hard one. That's pretty profound, don't you think? It made me think, like, wow, I went through all this, right? These people that you see, David Goggins, right? I don't know if you guys know him, podcaster. He talks about going through hell to get to the other side. And I'm a big believer in this. And this lays the groundwork for what I'm about to share right now. Just bear with me. I try to piece this together. It's kind of convoluted, but I piece it together. How I started talking to Bro, talking about coal plunging, right? And so I told him about my career in San Diego Police Department and how I ended up here, right? And why I started doing them. And basically on patrol, October 2012. It always occurs at the end of shift, always. Get a call, and all I had is guys choking a girl. And I knew this address, and I knew this guy. He's bipolar, he's off his meds, 350 pounds, big dude. I get to the house, I got mom out of the house, I got the sister out of the house, and all I hear is gurgling in the back, rustling around. My cover unit's not there, and I can hear them coming, but they're not there. All of a sudden, basically what happens is my cover unit comes up, and I hear gurgling in the back. I knocked on the door. I tackled this guy. Now, me being a Packer fan, me being from Green Bay, we love form tackling. Well, I'm not, I didn't practice too much before this. And I hit him just right. And my force took him, and we went flying. And we maybe had about this much space on the side. And thank God I landed on him. But what I didn't know is I blew out the bottom 3 discs of my back. Basically, I know something's wrong, but I have all this adrenaline, right? Thank God I had my cover units there hooking them up. We took them into custody, and I got off them. I didn't really realize the extent of my injuries. Cooled down. I was still going, right? I got checked out by the doctors. They didn't do any x-rays or anything like that. I went to work the next day. I'm stiff, hurting. I got out of my patrol vehicle, and I dropped like a ton of bricks, like I got shot. And the cover unit looks at me like I just got shot. And come to find out that I had such instability in my lower back that I could barely walk. I had a little bit of feeling in my legs, but I had no power. And it basically started from there. But after a 2.5-year protocol, in which case, just lying there, extreme pain from my lower back up. Could walk with a walker, barely. Had a daughter at the time, newly adopted, and she was, I should say newly, about 5 years old. And basically what happened was I just laid there and rot while I went through all the protocols. And this time, Percocet was my best friend. Right? I don't have a physiological addiction to things, thank God. Okay, but I learned about addiction. This is a true story. I got to the point where I actually had my back fusion after all the protocols. I had my back fusion, and I'm still taking Percocet. I'm still taking 7 to 9 a day. All right, just to function. And my brother, I went back home, flew back home, and basically what happened was I'm at church. I know. Forgive me, God. Again. And all of a sudden, the pastor goes like this, wants everybody to rise, right? My big mouth, because I'm so high on Percocet, what do? I've been in court many, many times. All rise, really loud, and nobody says anything. Of course, my brother's just looking at me, staring at me. I didn't even realize I even did this. I mean, I say this as a joke, right? Right. I didn't even know. And he calls me out. And thank God he did. It really hit home with me. So here's a cop, all right, Marine. Okay, I'll go back to that. Never thought I would ever have an addiction to anything in my life. I was never used any recreational stuff in my life, nothing. And so basically what happens, I'm gaining tons of weight. I was always in shape. I was always decent. I was probably about 215, 220. I was in decent shape. And I ballooned up. And I basically, what happened from there, I had 16 screws in my back. I still have them to this day in my back. In fact, you can see a little knob coming out of my lower back. Actually, everything's pretty decent. Thanks be to God. I regained function in my legs. I still have problems from time to time on my left leg with neuropathy, but going pretty well. I'm really grateful. So basically, what happened? Retired. San Diego PD retired me. I moved back home to Wisconsin, and I became a probation and parole officer. The reason why I could do that, my only restriction is I couldn't carry a gun anymore, and they don't carry guns, probation and parole. And so I moved back home, and I never realized my marriage was rocky. I had no idea. I really didn't. But I can imagine. I wasn't fun to be around. I was not fun to be around. I don't believe I took it out directly on my family, but everything indirectly. I took it out on everybody around me, right? Everybody's my problem. Everything's my, and I went from, being a kid where I was avoidant, I'd avoid things, to now engaging everything. Everything was my battle. Everything. And that's no way to live, because I didn't know how bad it affected my family. And so basically, moved back home 2016, and became probation parole agent. Marriage was rocky. My ex-wife was, she was threatening divorce. Of course, I'm walking on eggshells the whole time, and it's pretty rough. Basically what happens is we took a trip out here on vacation, 2018, and because I lived out here for so long, and we came back, and it was kind of like being home again. And so we looked at each other and we said, hey, maybe a change of scenery would help our marriage, right? Had nothing to do with the scenery. It's us, right? And so what happened was, moved back out here, 2018. Gained a ton of weight, still gaining a ton of weight. And this thing in 2020, I don't know, you ever heard about COVID or some crap like that? Crazy, right? So basically, during that time, spending a lot of time together, never had this. As a cop, as a Marine, we're never together 24/7. We're just a happy little couple 24/7, right? Well, yeah, I started drinking a lot. 2020, putting on a lot of weight. Trying to get my son to homeschool. Yeah, that's not happening. A lot of arguments, and it was, it was going downhill. I didn't know how fast it was going downhill, but I knew it was going downhill. So let's go to November 22nd, 2020. Day of my life changed forever. So basically, I got a call in the morning from my brother and my sister saying my mom has COVID. Now, we knew if she got it, it was a death sentence because she had emphysema in her lungs. She had heart issues. We have no idea how she got it because she never left the house. And that same day, my ex-wife filed for divorce. And you're talking about getting kicked in the stones, right? I was numb from head to toe, and that day I'm actually getting plans to fly back, see my mom see if I could see her, because we knew she wouldn't last long. Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. And so when I was going through all this, I couldn't feel anything. I don't know if you ever experienced anything like that before, where you couldn't feel nothing. There's no way I could feel God's warmth on me or anything like that. There's no way I could even take in from anybody. It was hard. In fact, this is the day, my mom's funeral, that I went to war with myself. I'll send the other picture, the after picture. But I went to war with myself. I was 346 pounds in that picture. Wow. I'm at my mom's funeral. I'm numb from head to toe. I'm a firm believer that our outside is an indication of our inside. And guys, that's how we're physical. That's what we do, right? It's a manifestation. I can tell you, I got home, and about 2 weeks later, and like I said, I went to war. And what I did was I snapped inside. I didn't take it out on anybody, but I went back to Marine Corps basic training. I lived in one side of the house. My ex-wife lived in the other. My bed was made perfectly every single day. I was regimented. Steve Nicholson, I was told that he comes here. So there's a place I started. It's called the Camp Transformation Center. And the first 4 months, my whole thing was, I just wanted to get myself feeling right. That's all I wanted to do. Right? That's all I was thinking about doing. To where I'm at now, that was a pipe dream. But I can tell you, for me, I started there, and all of a sudden, physical transformation started happening. And after 2 to 3 months, this extreme. It's not hatred. It wasn't hatred. It was. I was pissed. I was mad. I was freaking mad. And I don't blame my ex-wife. I don't blame her for divorcing me in the least. And in fact, I'll be talking here about what I posted to Facebook, and I do thank her. I really truly thank her for setting me free. But there's a lot of angst, a lot of stuff that I had to deal with that I didn't realize. And then I got caught onto this group. I'm just going through YouTube videos one day as I'm flying back from my mom's funeral, and all of a sudden this men's marriage group pops up. It's called the Bulletproof Husband. What the hell is a bulletproof husband? What is it, right? And so I watched it, and everything this guy was saying is like, that's me. And you know what? A lot of the things that they were saying, most men, we are. This is what we do, right? So I had bullets. What bullets are, okay? Between the ages of 4 and 24, we have suppressed emotions. We don't want to talk about them, guys. That's not what they are. We can take the bullet out, but the wound's still there and still with us, right? My whole life. It's been there my whole life. My dad beat the shit out of me. My dad beat the shit out of me to the point where CPS was called, okay? And it was kind of hush-hush under a rug type of thing. I don't know what actually happened. My sister was older than me. Something happened. I don't know exactly what. But I was always the whipping boy. My dad was going through a kidney transplant, kidney dialysis, basically whittling away right in front of me since I was 7 until he passed away at 16. But what I learned through this process and then the Bulletproof Husband is that my dad's been controlling me since I was 16. Everything I was doing in my life, everything external, everything was external, right? Nothing was ever good enough, right? It was a big, all right, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove this person wrong. I'm going to prove this wrong. And it was always my dad. All right? And so there's certain techniques that we use to lessen those wounds, right? Getting them out. Well, usually it's through physical, right? My truck, I usually have a punching bag, and we go out in the middle of wine country, and we had these bullet pulling parties. And basically they had these psychologists, they're walking you through, and you're just beating the shit out of this, out of this bag and stuff. And all of a sudden it started lifting, right? So it's part of my transformation, part of when I started growing, when I started really working out, working on my physical, working on my spiritual, working on my emotional. Now I'm working on my spiritual. So that came with my best friend, Brian. My best friend, Brian, took me to Reliance Church. You guys know where that is? And I walk in there. Now, mind you, I've been in a Catholic church for the last 28 years because my wife. I grew up Lutheran. To me, it never really mattered to me so much. Now it does. I'll tell you why. Because Reliance is my kind of church, right? I go in there. This guy doesn't know me from Adam. Waylon, big guy, looked like a biker dude, come up to me, puts his hands on me, and I'm going to pray for you right now. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, he could feel it. He could feel it. And something came over me. And it was the craziest thing I've ever felt in my life. And it's funny. I just had a softening. It was God's way of saying, put the sword down. Put it down. This ain't your fight anymore. It's not your fight. And it's funny because I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it until later. And basically what happened was went to men's Bible study. And here I am, retired cop, Marine, probation patrol officer, right? Addict, okay? And here I am, sitting with a bunch of people that have been in and out of jail, right? Outlaw bikers. I got different people around me, right? People that want to change their lives. You would never thought, right? We're like this, but damn right we are. 'Cause we're very similar. We're bonded by God. We're bonded by His love, by His grace, right? And the thing is that I actually became really close friends with these people. And I never got close to anybody. I still do this right now. This wouldn't happen 4 years ago. Not in the least. It would never happen. But I'll tell you what. It showed me that, as something I talked about at my mom's eulogy. Christ, His disciples. Now, I don't know much about the Bible. Okay, I know some of the stuff. But all of His disciples, what were they? Right? Well, society would call them unsavory, right? Right? Outcast, right? And here I am, I'm just saying, I chose some different things in my life, but really we're cut from the same cloth. I could easily went a different direction, easily. And here we are, right? And so I'm here, and as I'm going through church, and I still go weekly. I'll come at the noon after I get done playing basketball. I'll come at the noon hour Reliance, and I'll sit in there, and I'll still see some bikers in there, and I'll see some different people. I know what prison tats look like. I know what different tats look like. I know what they mean, right? And here they are, right? And I'm glad, and I'm proud. I'm proud they're with me. I am. I'm truly proud. And because just like me, they have a chance to find Christ, okay? And I believe they had to go through those hardships to find Him, just like me, right? I'm no different. I'm no different from anybody else. So we're gonna get the cold plunge, and so basically what happened, and as my spiritual awakening started, as my weight loss, I started taking it to the next level. I started getting into bodybuilding. I thought I would never get into it. I thought I had this preconceived notion, this bullshit notion that these people are arrogant, blah, blah, blah. I had all these different narratives, BS. Come to find out, most of them are just like me. They had a hardship, right? And they became obsessed with something. And I truly believe that it's changed my life. I feel better. I feel great. I got 16 screws in my back. I got a titanium knee. I need another knee replaced. In fact, I just got an injection yesterday, and I just keep on coming. I just keep coming. I'm 52 years old, and this was my May 29th of this year. I hit my goal weight of, actually it was 198, but goal weight was 205. And I wrote something on Facebook, and I'd like to read it to you. This is what I wrote. My sister, she brought me up to it. She goes, you'll know you hit the pinnacle of where you wanted to be when you can post something like this on social media. I would never post anything like this ever in my life. Ever. It's not my thing. And so this is what I wrote. I said, rock bottom has created more success than any phenomenon known to man. I am living proof one can rise from the ashes. In a 5-year span, I lost my law enforcement career, my health, paralysis from the waist down, and back fusion, knee replacement in 2020 as well. My marriage of 28 years, my identity, and my dear mother. The pic on the left is the first one that I showed you. Is the day I went to war with myself. It's been a long road, but the most authentic, raw, and rewarding of my life. I get asked a ton why. Well, it started out as F them. All right? And meaning my wife, my ex-wife. And I'll tell you, that was garbage. That's short-term thinking. That's crap. I don't blame her for nothing. I don't. I truly have no animosity. I truly don't feel anything. In fact, I pray for her a lot. She don't know that, but I do. And anyways, that was the start, but was only short-term motivation, which is trash. As I gained success in losing weight and changing little habits daily, my inside changed as well. My will became stronger. I prioritized myself. I gave grace to others, which is huge. And something I talk about all the time. Where am I at, bud? Too long, bro?
No, you're good.
Okay. I haven't looked. Here. I own my shit. I became steadfast in who I am and what I'm about. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hold on a second here. I'm good with not being understood or people not liking me. Does not mean that I don't care about people. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable, the internal pain lessened, and I understood God put me here for a reason. I am a firm believer that our outside is a manifestation of what's going on in the inside. My why is my son and daughter, that they may see their dad healing.
Take your time, now.
And becoming the best version of himself. I couldn't feel like this before. I didn't have any feeling. I want my kids to see me as their superhero, as I believe every father should be their kid's superhero. Through all this, I believe my mom's death and my divorce saved my life, and my mom's spirit has shown me that I can live again. My ex-wife's decision to divorce me demonstrated to me that change is necessary. I sincerely thank her for freeing me. Today is a bittersweet day. On my 52nd birthday, I report I hit my goal weight of 205 and body fat percentage near 10%. I have loose skin, but is a reminder to me of what was, and I'm never going back. I owe a big shout out to those who rolled with me and those who didn't. You shaped me into what I have become, an unbreakable, bulletproof machine. Kind of love that guy now. Next step is to follow through with a bodybuilding competition in the near future. My prayer is that others see this and understand it can be done. I have 16 screws holding my back together and a titanium knee, but I bring it every day, just like I said. We are bound by nothing. We are our own worst enemy, but we are our own solution. My life changed when I got very raw and real every day. I'm worth it, and so are you. It's something that's really profound to me because I never would have done any of this stuff. I would never, ever do this. I can tell you without a doubt, when I'm in the flesh, when I sway away from God, when I'm not being as faithful as I need to be, I can tell you that stress comes. I can tell you as men, our stress, our anxiety, depression comes when we're not living in alignment with what we say what we're going to do, okay? And that usually is involving Christ, involving God. I can tell you for myself, when I'm not living authentically, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving it up to Him. And I know it. Absolutely know it. I believe faith is just like discipline. Discipline, okay? There are two types of words, okay? I'm a big believer in discipline. That's why I do a cold plunge. I do in the wintertime, I do it seven days a week. In the summer, I do it 6 because I do it somewhere else. But it's something for me. I do my meditations, okay? I believe in discipline. Discipline is doing things when you don't want to, okay? Knowing the results. If I'm going to do something over and over and over again, I have faith that this is going to be the end result, okay? You can screw it up once in a while, right? But that's what faith is. Steve Harvey always says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, okay? Doing things, I know what the end is going to be if I have faith in it, right? It's the discipline to keep on doing those things to get there. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when God's going to give us what we want. He's going to give it to us. We don't know what's going to happen, though, okay? And I can tell you, for me, that I've been called obsessed. I've been called, different. Not, I don't go out. I'm in a part some singles groups and stuff. You don't go out. I'm in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock every night. I'm up by 5, and it's regimented. And of course, I'm okay with being misunderstood. It's all right. My question is, why aren't they? Right? And it's okay being misunderstood. And I think you should. We as Christians get misunderstood in this world as well. And you're just talking about making people uncomfortable. Yeah. Make them uncomfortable. Problem is, we're too comfortable. All right? And the struggle is, I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about, what we're just talking about, is God puts us through suffering in being uncomfortable. Yes? Oh. And being uncomfortable brings us closer to Him. Okay? So, I got to wrap it up, but in ending, I want people to understand this, that you're never as low as you think you are. All right? That bottom can keep on getting lower. If I can reach one person here today, that'll be more than worth it. And you never know who you're going to change. You never know how your story's going to change. Get up. All right? And I'll end it with my favorite quote. I'm a big Rocky fan. I'm a big Rocky fan. It's the story of my life, right? Not how hard you hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, right? So keep on fighting, all right? And remember, God's got your back. And you get your brothers here. Amen.